In your email, you said, if we fall into the anger trap, feed our minds trash, and unhappy at home, we won't find nirvana here, in meaning the Philippines. We can't curse the sun, the moon, and the earth. It's all we have. I love that.
Thank you. And I learned this from a friend in Texas. And he said, half the people agree with me on politics and the other half are wrong. And you decide who you are, because I'm not telling you. You know, and he just chose to be happy. And I thought, you know, he's a professional photographer. He's photographed presidents, just a wonderful fellow. And I've always kind of, you know, I've always remembered that. And so when you look, you talk about the hate and the divisiveness and the cost of living and the toxic dating culture, all of these things, they are what they are. And we don't have any control over that. We have control over ourselves. So I think that this place offers so much. I'm running from nothing. I have wonderful friends. They're still my friends. I've been divorced since 2015. So there's no anger. There's nothing. This is just, I thought, the next step forward. And I'm just, you know, I'm happy to be here. I think the Filipino people have all read it, maybe cosmically, Dale Carnegie on how to win friends and influence people, because they smile and they're so kind. You know, so yeah, I think the running away, if we make excuses, we do ourselves a disservice. There's another quote that said, we're all self-made, only the successful admit it. And that's something to consider. I'm eternally positive. You know, I mean, negative stuff happens. It's important. You know, we have to deal with it, but we can't dwell on it. We can't use it as a hammer to beat ourselves up. We have to keep moving forward.
Yeah. You can only find out if you're generally a positive person if negative stuff happens in your life from time to time. I like to think of it, it's not really what happens to you in life, it's how you deal with it that makes it.
Exactly. Your magic word was philosophy, and your personal philosophy is the biggest determinant of your future.
Joe, welcome to the channel.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm a big fan, so I'm delighted to be here.
I enjoyed your email, and I like what your comment was, basically that you're looking for adventure in your life. You don't feel like there's something missing. It's sort of like you're going forward, you're going towards something, which I think is a great way to look at life. So welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Yeah, and you nailed it. Life's a big adventure unless you choose not to participate.
So where are you from, Joe? Where are you right now, and where are you from?
Well, right now I'm in BGC, and I'm from the United States, and I've been a hobo. So my longest period of residency was Louisiana, most recently from the state of Missouri, from Columbia. So I have a ton of great close friends and colleagues in Columbia, Missouri area.
Right.
All excited that I'm over here having an adventure.
So are you over for a few months, or how long do you think you'll be here on this trip?
Probably till I die.
Oh, okay. Hopefully you're healthy, and that'll be 20, 30 years from now. So.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I was in the Philippines. It's really amazing. It's been 40 years since I left, but I was here in 1980, 1982, and 83. And I've always talked about returning, and the Filipino people are so gracious. And just one day I just decided, why don't I go do that for a while? And so I did.
Wow, that's great. So what were you doing back here in the 80s?
I was in the Navy. Spent all my time in 𝗏𝗏𝗄 and Subic. Yeah, and I was amazed when you and Chung were in 𝗏𝗏𝗄. I was really excited to see you there because I spent so much time there in my youth. And when I went back, I'm amazed at how beautiful it is and clean and vibrant. I thought, I worried that it would become depressed without the money from the military. But the Freeport zone and the Filipino people have just done wonders with that.
They have. It's a very charming city. Is this your first time back since?
It is, yeah. I landed January 13th, so I've been here a little over 4 months now.
I really appreciate the time you spent serving your country. That's great. Was there something that happened that made you think, oh, it's time to go? What is it that got the wheels turning for you that says, let's do this?
There was a YouTube video, and I saw a couple that had retired to Portugal. And I thought, wow. And they were young, they were in their 40s, and I thought, wow, that's fabulous. And within a week, I said, I'm moving to the Philippines. And then I found your channel, and, I told everybody, I said, I'm leaving. And they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, they thought I was just, Joe's just fantasizing until, everything I owned started being put up on Craigslist and given away and donated. And they're like, yeah, Joe's for real.
If you would like to learn how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 16 years and how I pay for things, grab a free copy of my ebook.
And, it's been a great adventure. I had, it took me about 8 months of planning and work to make it happen, but it's all, I don't want to jinx myself, but it's all gone to plan. And I've had really no problems.
Now that you're in the Philippines, I agree with you. I think the Filipino people really are sort of a joyful bunch. They always have a smile on their face. And they certainly, some of them, not all of them, some of them have a reason maybe not to smile so much, but they still do. They still smile at the people around them, and they're joyful people. And I'm wondering, because you have more of that influence, if you will, do you feel it's easier for you to focus on things that you want to as you move forward, being in that environment?
As opposed to being around unhappy people?
Yeah.
I imagine so, but I have always chosen to be around positive people. We are what we, success is not something we pursue. Success is something we attract. If we become an attractive person, whether that means economically or socially, then we attract happy people. And successful people, and success will find us. So I've chosen not to be around the people that detrimental to my progress and my happiness. I just chose not to participate. So here, I've had very few negative experiences. I've had, somebody wanted to charge me more for lettuce, but we benefit far more from deferential treatment because we have white skin than we ever have by being overcharged for a head of lettuce. So, the skin tax thing, all that, I don't know. I'm past my honeymoon, and I know how things work. I know what it cost me, and I just couldn't be happier, Dan. It's a fabulous place.
I totally agree with that too. I've heard the same thing about how everything costs more because of the color of skin, and I think the opposite. I think that. You may, as you said, you might pay a little more here and there for things, but I don't find that to be generally the case. And also, people open their arms and welcome me all around the world because I have a smile on my face and I care about them. I'm being nice, and maybe my skin color plays a role in it. But I think, if anything, it's a positive benefit. I almost call it as a foreign or a visitor benefit. They can almost tell by your clothes, your attitude, that you're not from there. They can tell, in most countries around the world, they tell that you're not a Filipino, or you're not a Mexican, or you're not a Malaysian. They know the mannerisms, clothes, and everything, and that's interesting to them. They find you interesting just because you're from another country. Why did they come to our country? What are they doing there? They're interested. Whereas if you were just another local standing in line with them or whatever, they may not show you the same amount of attention or interest. And not be so deferential to you. And that's what I found all over the world.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, again, our philosophy, right, it determines our success.
So you're in the Philippines, and now you've mentioned something else. Are you thinking of traveling to other countries too? Or you just explore the Philippines for now? What's your thoughts about long term?
I made a plan. My discipline allows me to be free and do kind of what I want. So I have a routine every day, and I came here with a plan. And my 12-month plan was to move to BGC, get my ACR card, get my Filipino driver's license, establish my health care, and then buy transportation, and then travel all the major islands to see where I'm going to live. And then at that point, pick a home base to be my place of residence. And then from there, I'll travel the rest of Asia and all around, Australia, and I'll go do more. But my first year, really, I'm on a mission.
Wow, that's great. I love it.
Well, I bought a KTM 790 Duke. It's a big naked bike, and I ordered some luggage. It's supposed to be here in May, and I don't use it in BGC. I walk everywhere. And I take a Grab if I need to go somewhere too far to walk. But when I make my trips out, I jump on it and I head to 𝗏𝗏, I head to Baguio, or I head to 𝗏𝗏 Rizal, all these places. And it's worth its weight in gold because I'm not dependent on anyone. Buy a car eventually. But right now, motorcycle.
You can bring your motorcycle on these ferries and go all over the place. I'll be interested in hearing how your story develops as you drive around and what you learn and some of the differences you've noticed Now, when you head out, will you be maintaining a residence in BGC and just going out and doing trips, or will you be moving forward once you get going?
And once I get going, I'll move forward. Puerto Galera is top because I'm close enough to St. Luke's Medical Center, and I'm a relatively healthy guy, but I'm 61. And then Baguio I love because of the temperature, and it's a short ride down to La Union. Right now, those are my top 2 places, and that's where I'll call home. Probably one of those at the moment, but we'll see.
Right. As you know, if you've seen my video on those 2, boy, Chum and I both love those spots. Have you seen the video where we go to the village where the 104-year-old tattoo lady lives? Have you seen that? Yes. I love it. She's darling, and the landscape is just mind-blowing, and it's a long drive, but it would be a beautiful way to get there on a motorcycle, I think.
Yes, I will. Did you see that she was on the cover of Vogue magazine?
I did not.
Cover. Yes, the oldest cover girl ever. Like she's 105 or 106 now. I saw a special, and they had a topless black and white picture of her. Dan, it was the most fabulous piece of art it was just unbelievable the way they captured her. And then it's such a small world. I met this young woman on the sidewalk. She's from one of the northern provinces, graduated cum laude, a really, really bright young woman. And she has 2 best friends, and they all 3 went, and they all 3 got the tattoo by her right here, all 3 matching little tattoos on their wrists.
Right.
So it's a wonderful story, and she's a legend.
When you meet her energy really profound. I mean, in some ways she'll remind you of like a teenager, even though she's 104. Warm and bright and kind of playful, very aware despite her age. Has an energy of, I don't know, maybe like a 22-year-old or a 24-year-old. Very great person. So normally I ask things about cost of living and that sort of thing. And
I came here and I established a budget, what I was going to spend up front, which was right at $1,000,000 pesos.
Okay.
And that's about what it cost, almost $20,000. And then I thought, well, once I get all this done, what will it cost me every month? And so, well, I think I know, and I actually made a budget. April 11th through May 10th. So up until just a week ago, I don't know, you can see this, but I wrote down every peso I spent. And then I went through, tabulated it. So I know exactly how much I spent last month after the honeymoon has passed. And living in BGC, my total fixed and variable costs, $1,481.95, excluding health insurance. Yeah, excluding health insurance.
Okay, what's that number again? 1,400?
$1,481.95.
Okay, now people should know, you and I know, but tell them what BGC is. Is that a nice place to live?
Yeah, it's probably the most expensive place in the country.
Yeah.
It is. It's very nice to live. I can ride down the elevator and there's an underground connector to a mall. I don't even have to go out in the rain or the heat if I need to go to the grocery store. It's a very nice place. But my rent's 35,000 pesos. My electricity with the AC is 7,000 pesos. My water is just under 500 pesos a month. My internet is 1,699. My T-Mobile phone is expensive from the United States. That's $65 a month. But my Filipino phone, and I just load it with Smart. I go to 7-Eleven or Watson's and load it. It's $5.38 a month for it's like 25 gigabytes of data on my Philippine phone. I spend a lot of time making my own meals. I don't eat out every day, and that's a huge expense. So if you're going to eat out all the time, this budget won't work.
But you mentioned insurance. What are you paying for insurance, and where is it from, and what's it cover? So
I've got the Pacific Cross.
Okay.
And you've probably heard Michael's name before. Michael Onstadt, because the guy is a straight shooter. He set up a call with me while I was still in the United States, a video call. And he's very blunt, pre-existing conditions to me, I always thought of as cancer. But if you take blood pressure or, I take Synthroid medicine, these are existing conditions. So they don't cover those for the first year. Okay. Who cares? Medical care is cheap here. But I bought a more expensive plan, and I pay $3,000 a year. It's $250 a month, and I just pay it up front for the year. When I renew, I'll buy less. I think I bought $500,000 US per year, and that's overkill. Now that I've been here, I know it's overkill. Yeah. So I'll drop that down, and it should be around $1,600 to $1,700 a year instead of $3,000 a year. And that's the other reason I'm in BGC, because St. Luke's Medical Center. I don't know, did you have a chance to go there? Have you been in there?
I have not, but a lot of people have told me how great it is.
Dan, I went in there for, so I went to St. Luke's for the executive check, and so you go up to the 7th floor, I think it is, and it's like a lobby of the Grand Hyatt or somewhere, right? They have a concierge, and they give you a menu like at a restaurant, and then they direct you to sit down, and you choose like you order a dinner, and then a member of the staff will come up. Have you decided, sir? And you say, well, yeah, this, right? And then went and sat in this beautiful, I mean, it was like a country club setting. And then after the blood work, give you this huge buffet. 2 physicians did all the stuff, got all my blood work, got to physician, everything. And I even opted for some more tests recommended to me by, because I saw 2 physicians. So all in all, for everything was less than $400. But they said, well, can you come in again tomorrow? I said, sure. No. Oh, no. They said, can you come in this afternoon at 2? Yeah. But he sat me down. I went and sat right across from him at the desk, exactly as you described. Discussed everything. He wrote me out a prescription for when I needed refills. And then he says, do you know what to do when you need refills again? And I'm like, no. And he says, well, call us.
I've had that experience in multiple countries outside the US. I think 5 or 6. Thailand, Malaysia, Panama. It's almost as if the rest of the world's on a different model than we have in the US. I don't know why it's the way it is, but you feel heard. You feel like you matter, I think. And the US, they're doing the best they can, but they're seeing, I don't know, so many patients per day. They're just running them around like rag dolls. You picked up a little bit of language. Does that help break the ice? I mean, they're already so friendly, but have you noticed a difference?
Yeah, it's huge. And I started with the 𝗵𝐹 app, and that's in this money. It's $20 a month for one language and $21 a month for all languages. And it comes every time it hits my, that's included in my budget. But that has been fabulous. And now, the coffee shop, they make me order in Tagalog, answer in Tagalog, and then they think that you understand Tagalog, and then you're lost. But that's one of the things. 30 minutes every morning I read, and then 30 minutes I listen to Tagalog.
Do you have a visa there? Are you on the 36-month thing, or you have a retirement visa, or what are you doing in that direction?
The retirement visa, I don't see the need to tie up $10,000. I don't think it's financially prudent. A $10,000 can do a lot in a mutual fund, right?
Yeah.
And so it costs, whatever, $35 a month if you figure it all out. It's very inexpensive. So I would bring fewer clothes, and that's probably the only thing different that I would do.
Well, thanks for coming on the channel, Joe. I really appreciate it. You have a beautiful weekend.
You too. Thank you, Dan.
In life, your success will be determined in large part by who you choose to listen to. Stop by Joe's webpage or click the link below this video to check out his YouTube channel. Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.